What's up guys, I'm here with another video. Welcome to episode 6 of Let's Build a City. Today we're building a Blockbuster video store. So, yeah. Welcome to episode 6 of Let's Build a City. Today we're building a Blockbuster. I love to build Blockbuster building. Hello John Brenwick Gonzalez, welcome to live stream. Hello Guest Gaming, welcome to live stream. Anyways, without further ado, let's revive Blockbuster. Rest in peace, Blockbuster.
What's up YouTube? In this video, I'll be showing you how to make a Blockbuster for all of your city building needs in Minecraft. Unfortunately, Blockbuster has all but since closed. However, due to the amount of suggestions that I actually got on the channel, I have decided to bring it back to life in Minecraft, where it can live forever in all of our cities. Thank you so much everybody for leaving this suggestion. I actually had kind of like a little bit of a nostalgia trip whilst building this one. So thank you to all of you guys that have been leaving those awesome suggestions on the channel. If you're new around here, please do consider subscribing and clicking the little bell next to the subscription button. That'll ensure that you get all of these awesome videos sent directly to your sub box. Without any further ado, let's get started. So, just before we start building, ladies and gentlemen, here are all of the materials that... we are going to be using in our Blockbuster. Please do make sure that you have access to all of those and enough of those materials as well. And just a little heads up for you, we will be using some more stuff later on, but I'll let you know just before we actually need to grab it. The amount of space required to make Blockbuster is a 21 by 14 block area. Do feel free to make this grid in your world. It will actually also give you a little bit of walking around room as well, so do bear that in mind. And that's it. Pause the video if you have to. Gather all of those materials, make sure that you've got enough room to make it, make sure you're ready to go back in time and build this iconic building. And once you are ready, we can begin. Step 1, old school friends. Come all the way to the front right hand corner of the grid. That is of course if you've made it. If not, just bear with me one moment. From the front right hand corner of the grid, count backwards. 1, 2, 3. Then move left by 1. This is the starting position. Begin by placing 8 birch planks coming up from the ground.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Place a birchwood slab on top and extend that slab left by 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Connect that 10th block down to the ground, all the way down to the ground, using some birchwood planks. What we are then going to do is we are going to mark out where the entrance and all of that fun stuff is going to be. So I want you to place a black concrete inwards diagonally from the birch plank that just hit the ground. And I want you to extend the black concrete upwards by 2 rows. 1, 2. Place 2 rows of glass to the right of, well, all of this. 1 and 2. I'm specifically using paint, but you can use any. We're then going to place a row of black concrete to the right of this. Extend the black concrete to the right at the top by 2. Join down to the ground. Then place 2 more rows of black glass, whether pane or block, it's completely up to you, to the right, just like you did on the other side. And you should then just be able to place a row of black concrete to the right of that. That should join you to the opposite side. I want you to place a row of birchwood slabs in front of the top half of the upper row of glass and black concrete. And then what we're going to do is we're going to extend up on top of all of the black glass and black concrete. We're just going to extend it all the way up to the top of the build. It's going to come all the way up like this, and you'll end up with a pretty cool effect like that. What we're now going to do is we're going to use yellow concrete, and we're going to place yellow concrete on top of the birchwood slabs that we placed above the entranceway. Extend the yellow concrete 1 row outwards towards you, and then extend it 2 rows to the left and the right. It'll actually overhang the building itself. You want to extend the overhanging parts upwards by 3. 1, 2, 3. But you also want to join them together, so you can kind of just shortcut it like this. You then want to fill the middle of this in using blue concrete. You don't have to completely fill the middle in because, and by middle I mean that part behind us, because you won't see it. Although one thing you will see is the space behind the top of the sign, so you may want to add a little bit of yellow concrete there, but there's no space underneath the sign. Later on, we'll actually be writing Blockbuster in there, so that is what is next for that. But now that we've kind of completed a bit of detailing at the front of the building, I want you to come behind, and we are going to extend the upper birchwood planks almost at the top of the build. There's just a slab on top of them. I want you to extend them backwards each by 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And I'm actually going to extend across, and I'm going to connect it to the up.
Let's see if this is 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10.
Side like this. So extend one side backwards, across and around, and then we're actually going to join the entire back part of Blockbuster down to the ground, and we're also going to join the right side of Blockbuster down to the ground as well. So the entire back and the entire right. Notice that I didn't say the left side of Blockbuster. The reason being is because we are going to actually use the inside space of Blockbuster. We're going to use pretty much all of it, so we don't want to create any interior walls really with inside Blockbuster. You'll see this a little bit later on, but the end result should look like this. Is cool is to add a row of birchwood slab on top of the back of Blockbuster, and then I'm just going to add some black concrete around the top. And I don't usually do this to builds very often, but I think I'm going to keep it nice and bright by just adding a glass roof to the top of Blockbuster, just sat inside of the top of the black concrete. You don't have to do this, you can completely fill it in and add another ceiling in later, but I'm feeling that for some reason for this build. The right side of Blockbuster here has to have a little bit of detail added to it. I want to add some blue concrete. The blue concrete is going to start one row inwards from both sides at the base of the build, and it will probably come up quite high, probably about, let's say, 1, 2, 3. It'll come up and it'll hit the sign. So it'll be about 4 blocks tall, and we're just going to create a blue accent in the building like this. So it just looks kind of cool like that. If you like, you can also extend the yellow concrete back of the sign like this to make it look a little bit chunkier, so to speak. And you can even do a similar sort of thing here as well, if you like. So you can see we've actually added quite a decent amount of detail to the building. The blue concrete on the right side really does make a difference. It makes it a lot less plain, and it just kind of follows the sort of modern-ish sort of style of the building. It just looks good. So now, on the left side of the build, which is where we're coming around to now, I'm going to recommend that you begin by adding a row of birchwood planks inwards from the front of the building like this. You might even want to add it on the back as well, just for the sake of symmetry, although we're going to be doing our own thing to the inside. Now, the reason that we've done that is because on the front, I want to take the lower part of the birchwood planks that we just created, and we want to place a row of 4 blue concrete coming up from the ground. So like 1, 2, 3, 4 hits the sign. We're then going to go left by 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Join the ground. We're going to extend that 8th block backwards by again 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
We're going to hit the ground, and then we're going to join it over to the back, or I guess middle-ish part of our Blockbuster. So the back part of this boat can actually be completely filled in with blue concrete. We'll add a window to it later, but pretty much the back, right, and the left side of this want to be filled in using blue concrete like this. Now the front part actually has windows. So we're going to place black concrete coming inwards from the structural corners, and we're going to place vertical rows of black concrete, gaps of 2 between them, and you'll find that you actually have a perfectly spaced out row of 3 black concretes coming down from the ground, hitting the top like this. To which you can then just complete them by placing some black glass in between them, or don't. It's completely up to you. You can just turn this into a plain wall, or you can use glass block. What I would also recommend is adding some... Number 1, I think that we're going to join this blue concrete area together on this side like this. We're going to seal up this wall here, which is... We're using birchwood planks. And then we're just going to make the top of Blockbuster here a bit more interesting. So I reckon we're going to add yellow concrete going all the way around the top inside, connecting back to the middle-ish entrancey part of Blockbuster like this. So it's going to look a little bit like that. And I think that we can... Is that alright to leave like that, the interior? Yeah, I think that that's actually completely fine. And then, I mean, what we could even do there is we can join that together since nobody will see. And then you can keep this nice and bright by adding in what is essentially a skylight using your black glass block. But you can use anything. You could fill it in for real using something else. So that, ladies and gentlemen, is pretty much the structure of Blockbuster complete. The next thing that we're going to do is the last mandatory thing really in terms of the building structure is going to be the sign. You guys might know I hate doing banners, but we have to do them, don't we? We have to make this place look good. I actually got the wrong item out. So to start off the banners, we need a crafting table. You only need one of them, and I'm going to chuck it right there.
No, loom.
Destroy it out of my action bar so I can forget that I ever had them. I'm going to crack open the crafting table, going to swap it to the crafting mode here, and I'm going to place the banners and the yellow and blue dye all the way up to the top left hand corner. That's what I recommend. We're going to start off with our first letter, which is a B. So blue banner right in the middle of the table.
Oh, B. Not the worst. I'll just drop these and dump these.
Blue die all the way up to the top left-hand corner. That's what I recommend. We're going to start off with our first letter, which is a B. So blue banner right in the middle of the table, yellow die coming up the left side. Grab that banner, put it in the middle of the table, yellow die along the top. Grab that banner, put it in the middle of the table, yellow die coming down the right side. Grab that banner, place it in the middle of the table again, with yellow die along the bottom. Grab that banner and place it in the top middle of the table, with yellow die coming straight through the middle, and that is an 8 or a B. So B is actually going to be used, by the way, B is actually going to be used twice. So you're going to want to either make 2 of these, or if you're in creative mode, like me, then you can just reuse it. So the next letter is L. So brand new banner in the middle of the table, yellow die up the left side, grab that banner, middle of the table again, and then yellow die along the bottom, like this. And then you have L in its completion. Now we have to have O. So O, blue banner in the middle of the table, yellow die up the left side, grab that banner, place it in the middle of the table, yellow die along the top, grab that banner, place it in the middle of the table, yellow die along the bottom, grab that banner, place it in the middle of the table, and yellow die up the right hand side. And that is your O. So next is C. Brand new banner in the middle of the table, yellow die up the left side, grab that banner, place it in the middle of the table, yellow die along the top, grab that banner, place it in the middle of the table, and yellow die coming along the bottom. That, ladies and gentlemen, is C. So the next banner that we have to make is K. So brand new banner in the middle of the table, yellow die coming up the left side. Grab that banner, place it in the middle left of the table, yellow die top left corner to bottom right corner. Grab that banner, place it in the middle left of the table, with yellow die bottom left corner to top right. And there you actually have K. So the next letter that we have to make is actually, because we already have a B, we're going to place a brand new banner in the middle of the table, yellow die up the left side, grab that banner, place it in the middle of the table, yellow die along the bottom, grab that banner, place it in the middle of the table, and then place yellow die coming up the right side, and that is U. Tell you what, I'm going to grab some more yellow dye because we need it. Of course, you guys will know the correct amount that you need as I make the item lists after the actual building is complete. And now we can make our next letter, which is actually an S. So, brand new banner in the middle of the table, yellow dye along the bottom. That banner in the middle of the table, yellow dye along the top. We place it middle of the that banner, place it in the middle of the table, the O, C, K, the E, and the second B. But we basically, inside of the double blue area above the entrance, B, L, O, C, K, B, U, S, T, and then hang on, wait for it, E, R, perfect. Blockbuster, and it really does make a huge difference to this building, like, seriously huge. So, what I'm now going to do, and I always do this because I'm clumsy, I really am, I'm a clumsy elephant. Oh no, hang on.
In case this building gets destroyed, I don't need these banners, but I can just connect them. See? For an example, if I go to my Lego store, L-E-G-O, Lego. Let's see what happens if I put another sign, so... That looks weird, but I can just remake the sign. It's not.
So let's do this before I accidentally delete one of them already. So I always like to grab a chest. I like to chuck it next to this crafting table, and I like to chuck all of the banner making equipment in the chest, because we're going to be messing about with the inside now, and we're going to do a little bit of work on the outside too. I always recommend putting them away if you're creative, so you don't have to ever make them again. So I'm going to get rid of these things, and the next thing that we're actually going to do in regards to Blockbuster is we are going to do some cosmetic changes in regards to the outside. So that will require these materials, right? We're going to be needing smooth stone, oak leaves. We're going to need
okay, smooth stone, oak leaves. So
terracotta, green terracotta, birchwood planks, and some dark oak doors. So
bim bim. I can just grab the birchwood planks. Then I need dark oak doors.
The first thing that I am going to do is I am going to dig out all of the grass slash concrete-y stuff. I'm going to dig it all out, and then I'm going to show you what to do. So hang on, let me do this magically. First, we dig out all of the grass. This.
Okay, let's dig out all of this. Oh boy. Oh. It includes here. Ordering traders. Die! 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 Thank you.
Is what the area. Look like once you have completely dug it out of grass. However, what we also have to do is refloor the interior using birchwood planks. Now that will look like
Hello Cabin Panda, welcome to the live stream. I almost forgot about that comment, sorry about that. Sorry about that.
this. I would highly recommend adding black concrete underneath all of the windows and door area, as when you just leave the grass, it actually looks a little bit weird. But if you place all of the black concrete and then you add a little something else to the area, it will look a lot better. The next thing that we have to do is grab our smooth stone, and we have to add a path leading out from the front of our Blockbuster and maybe creating some sort of sidewalk where it will blend into our city. I would recommend making the path about 3 rows wide, extending out from the doorway, and then you can just have about 2 rows or so, or however wide your pavement will might be to join it to your cityscape. In building the path, you will notice that we now have 2 holes in front of our Blockbuster. I would recommend filling those in using a mixture of green and lime terracotta. This looks like freshly cut grass and maintained earth-like tones. Like, it just looks nice and clean this way. You're more than welcome to just pave it though. I just kind of like the colour combination. Additionally, you're going to find that you might want to add, this is completely might want to add a little bit of hedging coming out the right side of your Blockbuster. Perhaps extending round to the back corner of your Blockbuster, and perhaps add some around the back as well, just to kind of add a little something to the shade. If you didn't have a pavement here that people would be walking on, then you could even extend it around and extend it forwards to kind of create a whole area like this to just kind of like seal it.
Hello, Vizalium. Welcome to the live stream. Hopefully I said that correctly. I'm not good at spelling names, but yeah.
Area. And now the last little detail that you might want to add to the outside of your Blockbuster just to make it nice and normal looking is to give it a door. I imagine that everybody's going to be adding a door. I personally like the dark oakwood door because it goes so well with all of the other materials, but that is my personal choice, and you can make a different one if you like. So I realised that I just made a load of changes there. I dug out a load of stuff, I added a load of stuff in. I want you to do that for yourself as well, so feel free to pause the video if you have to. Do make sure that you have all of that taken care of. Make sure that all of the grass is got rid of and you have refloored the inside and the outside. With the outside pretty much complete, we can now move on to the...
Before I do the inside, I gotta just sort something out first. It's to make the road. Okay, I'll grab some stone as well. I want to dig a row and place smooth stone. This is a little bit of a path. Grey concrete to the side here, and another side of grey. I'll just dig out all of this.
Inside of the building. That will require all of these materials that you can now see.
Let go.
On the screen right now, please make sure that you have access to all of these and enough of these materials as well. Once you are ready, we can move on to the inside. Let's do it. So let's first of all head inside. And now that we're inside, we have a couple of structural changes that we're going to make before we start building properly, before we start adding detail. So first, we have to kind of separate the shop a little bit. To do this, I think that I'm going to add a row of blue concrete coming inwards from where the blue concrete naturally is on the outside. So like this, kind of turning it almost into kind of like a little cave of some sort. I'm going to add a blue concrete coming across the top, and then blue concrete in the corners to kind of turn it into an archway shape. And it just feels cozy. Like this part of the shop is just a little. This is a little bit cozier than that side.
What is? I think that's what you're supposed to do. Let's see. This looks stupid. And
now that we're inside, we have a couple of structural changes that we're going to make before we start building properly, before we start adding detail. So first, we have to kind of separate the shop a little bit. To do this, I think I'm going to add a row of blue concrete coming inwards from where the blue concrete naturally is on the outside. So like this, kind of turning it almost into kind of like a little cave of some sort. I'm going to add a blue concrete coming across the top, and then blue concrete in the corners to kind of turn it into an archway shape. And it just feels cozy. Like this part of the shop is just a little. This is a little bit cozier than that side. I'm going to fill the top of the windows in using a little bit of yellow concrete. You can use whatever material you like, though. It's just that I kind of think that that looks nice. Now, along this back wall, and this area in general is where you're going to pay for your movies and stuff that you're renting or buying, or games that you're buying, or whatever it is you're doing. And we're going to place a row of yellow concrete coming along the back here. We're going to leave a gap of 2, and then we're going to have another row of blue concrete in front of it, but you want to leave enough space that you're able to like walk in and out. So along this back wall, I'm just going to add a couple of chests, and I'm going to completely fill the top of the wall in using item frames. So this is going to be like returns. It's going to be like movies and stuff that you can run, the latest releases. If you wanted to, you could even like splice in like a movie poster or so if you wanted to. We'll be filling those in later. So what we're also going to do is we're just going to chuck a trapdoor here, and we'll place like a quartz stairs somewhere along here just to look like a cash register. And we're actually not going to be needing the oak trapdoors again, I don't think, so you can just grab like a yellow carpet and place a little bit of something along the actual counter space. So, Blockbusters, I'm pretty sure, rented music too, so we're just going to have like a couple of note blocks and a couple of jukeboxes here. And we're just going to have these in this position here. I'm kind of thinking I might even add like another concrete there, just to turn that into just a little bit more of a cavey sort of area, and then we can like walk in and around this. Or we could even, so far as what we could do is we could place this just before you go in. You've kind of just got like a couple of note blocks and jukeboxes like this. And then that kind of just, like you've got to literally like go past it to actually get to the counter. So what would also look good as well, as I'm looking at this, is if we add another row of birch planks in, that will actually like round off the room. Like if you add birch planks here, that actually looks really good, like that. What we could also do is we could use a little bit of birch slab too, and we could just kind of like add it across there, and that doesn't look too bad, does it? I mean, you could even go as far, if we were kind of like going for this sort of shape, We could go as far as to add some upside down birch stairs in here. These are all options, by the way. Feel free to not do any of these. And then that kind of does almost turn into like kind of like a cave entrance. So the point of these jukeboxes and stuff is that we want to place like item frames on the side. Like, you don't have to do every side if you don't want to, but I like the idea that these are kind of like those bins, those like, you know, like those bargain bins, and you can like just grab music and stuff out of here. So we'll be placing stuff in there later on. This whole area here is going to be the main area where you're going to be, like, this is where most of the stuff is going to be. So, in this corner, I kind of like the idea that you can buy some drinks and stuff. So, if you place, like, 1, 2, 3 rows of yellow, and then maybe, like, 3 rows of blue next to this, and if you fill in all of this using item frames, we can place some, like, drinks placeholders there later. We're also going to need to grab our bookshelves and maybe armor stand for a bit of decoration. Maybe you can chuck a few chests up here as well. You could, and then maybe not all the way up to the top. I don't know whether I like it up to the top or. But a few chests so you can actually store what's in these item frames next to it. I'm going to place about 3 or so rows of bookshelves directly next to the chest, and that'll have like magazines, movie magazines and stuff in there. I'm going to place yellow concrete coming along this wall up here, and maybe just like have a little bit of yellow and blue, and then that way we can sell more movies and stuff just in this corner here. I'm going to extend this blue forwards, and I'm going to use a little bit yellow concrete, and maybe this is like a movie poster area. So what you could do is you could have like this, like you could have a load of movie posters if people even buy movie posters. Or whatever, or if people ever did. I never did, but there's no reason that you couldn't have some like movie posters just in the forms here of just like little paintings like this. That looks kind of cool. If you wanted to, then you could have like more built up like chests, and you could actually keep those next, keep those in there. And here, I mean, we can just have another like shelving unit of some sort, so like some more blue concrete and some yellow, and we could place like more movies in the form of like item frames like here. But in the center of the room, I kind of want another sort of like shelving unit, so to speak. And this room actually does kind of divide up evenly. Like if you look at the floor, like it's about a row of 7. So if you take the middle of the floor, and if we place maybe like a row of yellow concrete about here, we want to be about 2 blocks away from that side and about 2 blocks away from that side, and we'll have free space either side. And if we place some blue concrete along here, and then maybe some like chests like this, and then this is where maybe people can see the bulk of movies. Like you can grab all of these, and you can like put some item frames in here like this, and this is where you would fill all of that up using some actual music discs. I kind of like the idea, by the way, of skirting some blue concrete around this a little bit. So, like this. I like the idea of just having a little bit of blue concrete, like so. I've kind of messed myself up a little bit, and I'll explain why, but I kind of, you know, just to add some colour to the place. And then I like the idea of underneath the chest, so I've placed these, but underneath the chest I like the idea of there being some yellow. You don't even have to use strictly chests if you don't want to. You know, you could use a whole load of different things, and it doesn't always have to be chests. Like, what you could do is, instead of, like, just to vary things up a bit, obviously you could it's like a note block or a jukebox, and you know, you can. Don't have to have the same thing all the way down. I also like the idea of adding a little bit of a border around the top of the shop. Maybe using like a little bit of yellow concrete and some blue concrete. I like the idea of just having something like a around the top of the shop like this, or maybe it can be like 1 block higher. Like, it almost feels as though the way that we have this now, that it's a little bit too open. So what if we placed, say, like blue concrete around the top of the shop here, and then you looked up and you had your skylight. So something like this. And I don't know whether or not I'd want to connect the shelves to it, so maybe that corner makes sense, and here would make sense, but I don't know whether that's too weird looking. I like the structure of that, but I don't want to connect anything else to it. And of course you can just draw like arm stencil. Around the place, and those can kind of just be displays, and maybe that's got like, you know, like a jukebox in its hand or something like that, or you could maybe dress it up as kind of like a movie character or something and kind of have a little Easter egg. And just to kind of like finish up the decoration of the shop, I'm just going to be using like some some heads. I'm going to use flowers.
Heads. Mob school. Head.
Pot, some potions, bells, and we'll need to grab a.
Are you done yet? I'm almost finished with this door.
Different music discs, but I'm only using one, so you'll have to kind of like, you know, imagine in your mind. So I want to have a bell above the door because I think that that's just a nice little bit of detail. I want to place a load of music discs anywhere that you think it's relevant. So anywhere that we're kind of selling like music discs. I mean, these are all like, these are bookshelves, right? So what you might even want to do is here you might want to sell like books, again, like magazines and stuff. Stuff that people don't really use anymore. Where are the books even at? Oh, books! Books, I know you're here somewhere. There we go, perfect. I can't believe I missed all of that. So maybe some like books next to where the bookshelf is in the form of magazines. Like here, I mean, music discs kind of work as both like DVDs and Blu-rays and stuff, and as actual music, so that's fine. Gonna definitely place some around here as well, just like this. It's looking pretty good. Along the back here as well, like above here, like again, you're probably going to want to use different colours and stuff, but I just don't want to grab all of them and flood my inventory. The drinks machine here, I mean, potions just in here so people can grab drinks and store those there. I like the idea of maybe having like a little flower on the desk here. I like the idea of having a couple of custom heads. You'd have a few different ones, but we've only got creepers on offer at the moment. But you know, it looks nice and full, and it looks like a kind of like an interesting shop, kind of laid out this way. You could definitely change it though. You could add all sorts of little different things too. If you wanted to add some carpet like here, you absolutely could. But I actually think it's kind of like fine the way that it is. To be honest, I think that we've kind of like made the entire inside of our Blockbusters, ladies and gentlemen. I don't think that there's anything that we're missing at all. So why don't we take a look at this thing? So this is what your Blockbuster will look like once it has been 100% fully completed.
We have revived Blockbuster. I don't know what happened to Blockbuster, guys. I think it just shut down because I think Netflix took over and Blockbuster was left behind, so I think they closed down permanently. But I decided to revive it, and this is what it looks like, as you can see. I know you might not see it, but looks good. Anyway, wake up, Blockbuster. Time for you to get revived. Complete. We have revived a store. Now it can live forever. Rest in peace, Blockbuster. For the amount of years that you sold, rented movies and all sorts of comics and magazines. We'll always remember Blockbuster. Thank you for watching me building a Blockbuster in Minecraft and reviving it. See you in the next episode. Bye guys.